Hey, good morning, team. Welcome to week 3 of OS 180 Principles of Supervision. So, excuse me. So as we enter week 3, we're going to further explore onboarding employees. This more so from a HR, human resource aspect, right? We're going to talk about KSA's knowledge, skills, and abilities and what they are, right? Knowledge being cognitive ability, skills being psychomotor experience, and abilities, which abilities can also mean attitudes, right? So, how do we legally assess these? For instance, if you wanted to apply for a secretary job and you go in for an interview, and they have you do a Spanish test because they want to see if you are fluent in Spanish. But that was not posted as a requirement in the KSAs. Is that legally acceptable? It wasn't posted, it wasn't advertised, and you just wasted your time if you were or were not fluent in Spanish. So these are some of the things that we're going to talk about. So okay, so let me backtrack too a little bit here. So week 1 we talked about onboarding, and I introduced you to character versus competency model. Remember that? Oh, I still have a drawing here. Look at that, Dave's note, right? And I said when you are interviewing people as a supervisor, you have two things to really evaluate: their character and their competency. And this is an ethical dilemma that you will face. So, you know, do you hire somebody just based on competency, on the skills and knowledge that they have, uh, and they could be of poor character? You don't have to train them financially because they have the skills, but you could tell, yeah, people won't like working with this person because of character traits. Or do you hire somebody that's really high in good character traits that you may have to invest some money in training competency? This is an ethical question. Hopefully, you get somebody that's good in character and high in competency also. So, this is something you really have to wrestle with. That's an ethical question. If you have one thing to really take away from week 1, it's that. You know, uh, do I want to hire somebody that's high in competence or high in character? And hopefully, you get both, right? The next one, on week 2, we talked about motivation, and I really enjoyed reading the discussion boards and the postings, and I hope you enjoyed Daniel Pink's video. I really like Daniel Pink. He gives you another way to look at what motivates us. And so he makes it clear that we're talking about internal and external motivation. And what really drives us, it's our internal motivation. We can have the carrots and sticks, right? Either a benefit, like a carrot, so reward, or something, a stick to hit you in the butt to get you moving, right? Those are the external motivators. But what really drives us is our internal motivation. And as a supervisor, can you really motivate somebody internally? No. People have to have that intrinsic motivation themselves. So now picture this situation, and here's your ethical dilemma as a supervisor, right? Let's say you hire somebody from week 1, you did your onboarding, and they have a specific job as per their position description that they are going to fill. Let's say it's labor relations and human resources, right? They are going to deal with the union. But after 6 months, this employee has been working a lot in HR training and really enjoys it and is doing a good job. So your decision now as a supervisor is, do I rewrite this person's position description to fill a job I did not have a need for? Or do I possibly demotivate this person by putting them back into the box of labor relations, which they were initially hired? This is a difficult situation. It's one we face all the time. For instance, I can tell you my position description says teaching and curriculum development. This is at the Naval War College, and I have like 10% to do whatever. However, that 10% seems to grow for me because that includes research. And so, my management and the people I work for say, hey, Dave, can you do some research on this question? Or, get some feedback from the fleet. So that 10% of my week turns into 40. Uh, and so, yeah, we really have to wrestle with that. Luckily for me, it's not that big of an issue, but in some places it is. You really need that job done, and that's why you hired this person. And perhaps the position that you initially hired him for is higher skills and requires, they get a higher salary. And what they're interested in is actually a lower skilled job that you could pay less for instance, or vice versa. So this is an ethical situation. So that's a big takeaway from week two. The ethical situation that you will face as a supervisor. So as we go into week three, I said we're going to be talking more about onboarding, but we're going to be talking more about the legal aspects. We're going to be talking about KSAs. We're going to be talking about incentive programs that's out there and what can be offered. So anyways, Monday is Census Day. It looks like everybody's present and accounted for. Don't forget, we had some people miss discussion boards, and I'm pretty adamant. I don't accept late discussion boards, and I'm sorry. Uh, but ethically, I find it to be wrong. I think it cheats the fellow classmates of the conversation and discussion. And I think the people that have been participating and keep going on the discussion boards on a regular basis would agree because there's some really great discussions going on. And like I said, I don't chime into everyone. I'll chime in here and there, but I read everyone, as you can tell, and do a synopsis of it. So, anyways, thanks for the communications. Keep up the good work. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Okay, Dave out.